We're here for the press conference of the $100,000 Truman Homes Cup. Connor, congratulations to start off. How does it feel to be victorious tonight?
It feels wonderful. I was very happy with my round. The horse is very young. He's only 8 years old, quite inexperienced. So it was a bit of a surprise, to be honest. But it's certainly nice to be first.
Tonight wasn't just about the luck of the Irish, but it was also a great demonstration of teamwork. You're first, James second, and Vanessa third. How does it all come to be? What is it like with the behind the scenes coming to the ring? How does it all come together?
Yeah, I mean, what you see obviously in the ring is only a small part of the process that goes into winning results. Like you said, myself, James and Vanessa, we've been together for many years now as a team. I would say probably James does most of their work, to be honest. But yeah, basically, listen, we have a really good system. We have some very, very nice young horses, and it's great. Like tonight, we're 1, 2, 3 in a very prestigious 3-star event.
Can you walk us through your ride in the jump off tonight?
Yes, I thought the jump off went quite smoothly for me. Jump 1 got a good roll around the 2, caught that nicely, smooth enough back to the back to the double, which was, it was difficult to turn that. So I was happy that I got a nice forward shot, kept flowing a little bit easy on the 6 to the vertical, nicely round the wall, and then just you got to take a good gallop and take whatever shot you can to the last there as fast as you can. But everything went well. I didn't feel, and I was lucky, or I was a bit not, something didn't show the way I wanted it to. I was pleased with the round.
We saw very few clear in the first round. James, what were your initial thoughts of the course tonight?
Probably a little bit bigger than what it's been. There's a few slightly trickier parts to it. An awful lot of people were very unlucky as well, just a jump here and a jump there. I thought it was quite a lot for my horse, just being 7, but he jumped around really nicely and was great.
What was your strategy? Did your plan change at all after Connor went?
Not really, no. Again, for the jump off, yeah, I mean, just the turn inside after 1, we'd spoke about it and we weren't sure if it was there or not. And he kind of said, yeah, you probably get it. So I did that. But other than that, just kind of did what we discussed beforehand.
John, tonight was a very exciting class, full of diverse and competitive riders. What were your thoughts on tonight?
Well, it was an extremely successful competition, in my opinion. And, all of the riders make it happen, and certainly Connor and James are exemplary, and Vanessa as well. Their team to be top 3 was impeccable. What I'm more impressed about, though, is just the growth of the event, the support that the riders have given us, because they keep coming back, and it's really becoming a mainstay on the circuit for them, and that's really a tribute to us. And it's a tribute to the people that support us. George Trutina, incredible man of Truman Homes, Calgary's premier home builder, has graciously stepped up and supported this event the last couple of years. And we couldn't do it without him. And to have this kind of a competition and the results that we had today is really, it's amazing. And I'm extremely happy.
George, thank you for sponsoring tonight's class. Your support is very appreciated. The importance of giving back is something you represent very well. What was it like watching tonight?
Well, this is something new that I never experienced back home, and I really never got involved in it in Canada either till I met John. And John got me excited, and I love the sport. And John is a great guy, and I'm very proud to sponsor it. And with this, here I am to sponsor our Calgary Homeless Foundation. And what else can I say? Crowd was good times. I'm sitting between 2 Irishmen, a beautiful lady on the other side. What else can you ask for?
So it's needless to say that you're falling in love with show jumping a little bit.
Yes, I am.
Gail, we'll move to you next. Could you tell us a little bit about the Calgary Homeless Foundation and what it feels to have this much support?
So the Calgary Homeless Foundation works with a whole network of agencies and the faith community and the government partners and wonderful partners like George and John to work together to end homelessness in Calgary. So through the last 10 years, we've been able to house 10,000 people who are experiencing homelessness and build 624 dedicated permanent supportive housing units. So this gift just allows us to have much greater impact with all those folks that are experiencing homelessness and help them get the right services at the right place and the right time.
As Royal West 2018 starts to conclude, John, can you share some final thoughts about the 5th annual tournament?
Well, I think we need to touch a little bit more about this general, before we get on the general things, we need to touch more on this generous donation that my good friend George Trutina arranged to the Calgary Homeless Foundation. People who don't know George, he moved to Canada from Croatia. How many years ago?
1972.
72.
That'd be $2,000 in the hole.
I asked him, I said, how much money did you have in your pocket when you came here? Because you always hear those stories. He said he had $2,000 in the hole. And I said, well, how did you get here with no money in your pocket? But anyway, and George has made Calgary his home. He's made his living in Calgary. He's made his successes and fortunes in Calgary. And he's gone through ups and downs in Calgary. But you know what? He calls Calgary his home. He calls Calgarians his friends, his family. And, you know, his generous support over the years in so many things that I've seen
Many.
are really, really special. And, you know, George and I talked about this a while back. How can we do something for the community? And that's where, you know, we came up with the idea with Gail. I mean, everybody in the city knows that Truman Homes is probably the premier home builder in the city. But, you know, for George to turn around and help us with this project that we had and raise $150,000 to the Calgary Homeless Foundation, that speaks volumes about the kind of man that George is. And he can touch on that a little bit more.
Yeah, well, City of Calgary Attainable Housing, we discounted over $27 million in prices, over 500 units to Calgary when nobody else was willing to do anything in a good market. And I feel very good about it. I'm happy when other people are happy around me. I don't like to be just happy myself and everybody's kind of in the corner and crying. You know, I'm like God was, when the God was subdividing, giving the land to all the people, Italians, Irishmen, you name it. And he had them all in the same room as he gave them the country. They all leave. On the end of the day, on the end of the distribution, there was one guy in the corner and crying. And God says, my son, why are you crying? Well, you gave something to everybody. You never gave anything to me. God says, you know what? I was going to keep Croatia for myself, but you can have it. And that's where Croatia comes from. So I have to give.
I think this is a question for both Gail, John, and you, George. What can people do to help this foundation on a smaller scale level at home?
Start with you, Gail.
Okay, I think every little bit helps. So anything you can do, and just connecting with people, connecting with agencies in the city that work with the most vulnerable of Calgarians can always help. So any little bit of money, any little bit of volunteering time, all of it is very helpful for the folks that are experiencing homelessness.
I just think everybody has to be aware. I mean, there's people out there. They're homeless. I mean, you walk across the street. We stay downtown this week. I mean, I live here south of town, but we stay downtown because it's too far. The days are long, and sometimes we walk over here, and you walk by homeless people every day, and something needs to be done to help them. And you know, it's great that people like George and Gail can do things and do programs to help them for sure.
And George, we'll move that over to you. What is something that someone can do on a smaller scale to help this foundation?
Well, I think people need to know People need to know when somebody does something. That encourages others that never gave or never thought about it. Maybe they're giving to different charities. So that encourages the others to do the same. I think that's very important.
So I'll move this question back over to you, John, as we're finishing up here. Are there any statements you'd like to share on the conclusion of the 5th Annual Royal West?
I'm just happy everybody had fun. I'm happy the results were good. I'm happy about George. I'm happy about Gail. I'm just happy about everything. And you know what, to be honest with you, I'm happy it's over. It's a lot of work. But we'll do it again because everybody loves it. And
We'll do it again, right.
we'll be back next year for sure.
And by the way, Connor, my foot is okay.
Your food is okay.
That is a funny story. Last year, George was the sponsor, and Connor won his class too. And Connor had this very excitable horse called Flower, and we were presenting the ribbons, and George shakes Connor's hand, and as he does that, Flower steps on George's foot. So George is still holding on to Connor's hand, which is keeping the bond together with the horse on the foot and the hand. And I'm like, George, let go.
Okay, I'll let it
So
go.
he was limping for a month, but
I saw all the stars on the moon.
but anyway, George is obviously a stroke of luck for Connor, and Connor wants him back, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I'll be back to you, George.
Okay. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for your time. It's been a fabulous evening, and we hope to see you back next year as well.
Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Thank you.